Is running for the United States Senate seat that's being vacated in North Carolina. He's a Republican Senate candidate, former Navy JAG officer, former federal prosecutor as well. Don Brown, welcome back to the program.
Steve, thanks for having me. Happy Friday to you. Good to see
Happy
you.
Friday to you, my friend. All right, so North Carolina's doing its part. You're redistricting there. It could add an extra congressional seat, but that Senate seat, really important. New polling shows you in a pretty good race here. Michael Whatley is one of the folks in the race as well. Looks like you're running neck and neck with him. How's it looking for you?
Well, we've got the momentum. Whatley has outspent us about 100 to 1. He wasn't the White House first choice for the seat or for chief of staff or for the cabinet, and the Republican establishment is trying to ram Whatley down our throats. But the grassroots is on fire for us. We are in a statistical tie at the moment, despite having been outspent, despite having the elites of the Republican Party try to ram somebody down our throats. We, the people, are going to determine this race, and we're going to win it. We're going to take Whatley out and take Cooper out as well, and we're looking forward to it as our campaign catches more and more heat every day.
Well, all right, so the big topics, I'm going to get to your concern about Sharia law, which is a concern in many places in America, but let me start with what I think is the most critical thing to Americans. That's affordability. We just saw young women, Gen Z voters, turn out en masse for a communist in New York City, and if you think that can't spread across the country, Republicans need a wake-up call. Populism is going to win in 2026, and the real question is it going to be left-wing populism or right-wing populism? What can we do to give young people the idea that they can afford a house, that they can go to work, that they can pay their bills, that they can have something in this world? I mean, it's cornerstone politics, isn't it?
Right. Yes, and despite a lot of progress that's been made under the Trump administration, we're still dealing with incredibly stupid regulatory issues that are driving cost up. Take price supports for milk, for example. The federal government is paying big conglomerates to buy excessive dairy products off the shelves, which drives the price up. So we have to understand that a lot of this inflationary effect is still dealing with crazy regulatory schemes that have got to be gutted. And so we have to isolate those schemes and make the folks understand that the deep state is creating problems and go after all that type of excessive governmental regulation is costing and driving the price of food up in the grocery store and everywhere else. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And we've got to do a better job of articulating the source of the problem, and we've got to get these regulations out of the way. If you look at meat, for example, and the USDA has all type of regulations that drives up the cost of meat in the grocery store. They pay 2 times overtime for USDA inspectors. They limit the number of meats that can be processed. That's called the speed limit. We got to get rid of these regulations so that we can get food to our folks. The more food we can get, the more we can bring prices down. We're going to isolate these regulations. We're going to take them out. We're going to give young people hope that they can survive in this great nation, and certainly they can.
Does that have to happen before the election in November?
Well, it will be helpful if it were to happen before the election in November. What has to happen for sure is we have to articulate the vision of what the problem is. The problem is the deep state and regulatory overreach. And of course, President Trump's done a good job in opening up pipelines and bringing the price of fuel down, which has helped some. But it would be helpful if it happens before November. We want to see prices come down. We believe that it will. But we certainly have to isolate the problem and attack it so that folks understand what is causing the logjam that we're having at grocery stores if prices not dropping like they need to.
Real quickly, let me ask you about health savings accounts, a plan put forward by the president, supported by people like Senator Dr. Roger Marshall of Kansas, saying, look, give the money to the people, not to the insurance industry that has made a fortune. Their profits have gone up 700% since the rollout of Obamacare. Let's give it to the American people. Let them decide how their health care works and make the insurance companies compete for their business. What do you think of that?
The concept is great. The Affordable Care Act turned out to be the Astronomical Cost Act. And I'm in favor of busting up Blue Shield. I'm in favor of using, antitrust if we have to. Here in North Carolina, we've got one option, Blue Cross. You should be able to shop your health insurance options just like you do with your auto insurance options. Big is bad. And so the president's concept of getting these mega insurers out of the way and giving people the power to determine our own insurance options is a good one. Whether the exact plans of the exact proposal that he's planned will actually get implemented or not, he's on the right mark. We've got to have competition in the American healthcare industry, and the cost of healthcare is one of the reasons that young folks, are so worried about being able to compete economically as we move. We've got to break this large health monopoly that's controlled by Blue Cross and just a few others and by Big Pharma. It's got to get busted up. We got to have more options.
Don, we got about a minute and a half left. I want to ask you about Sharia law in America. You're concerned about the spread of the push for Sharia law in pockets that you think could metastasize in this nation. Your thoughts?
Well, the election of this Mondami clown, a communist Muslim advocate, is an indictment, not just on, we talk about the illegal immigration. Democrats opened the borders. We lost more people to fentanyl in 1 year than 10 years of Vietnam. But the legal immigration problem is an issue. And Sharia is a philosophy that is the law of Islam that is incompatible with the United States Constitution through its hudud, where they do public amputations, to apostasy laws, where they execute folks in these Muslim countries that don't convert, to treating women and children like dogs. We've got to adjust and change our legal immigration strategy also to be better protective of the United States Constitution. It's going to become a problem if we don't, and I'm going to push in the United States Senate to curb and maybe even eliminate, but certainly curb and use better scrutiny when it comes to immigration from Sharia-based countries. And so it's got to happen because the Constitution has got to be our polar star.
Don Brown, running for Senate, the state of North Carolina. Don, always appreciate talking to you. Congratulations on the state of the election thus far. When's the primary, real quick?
The election day for the primary is March 3rd. Early voting starts February 12th. We've got most of the momentum on the Republican side. We're going to win this thing, and when we do that, we're going to prosecute Roy Cooper all over the state. He's going to wish he'd never heard of me before this is over with.
Don Brown, former federal prosecutor, taking it to the streets. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. We'll take a break and be back on this Free Speech, Free for All Friday. The Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline, 877-310-9966. You can also send me an email. I've been going through your emails. A lot of them came in today. Send more. SteveGruber.com. Send me an email. I might just read it here on the air. I'll be right back.